Returning to our top story now, the Ontario government delivered its annual budget late this afternoon. It includes $186 billion in spending, a new record for this province. Extra supports for hospitals, childcare and small business grants are among the promises being made by the Doug Ford government. And our business editor, Richard Southern, joins us now live. And you were in the budget lockup all day, Richard. You've gone through this document from cover to cover and found some interesting items buried in the government spending plans.
Yeah, I mean, as you say, there's a lot of spending, right? And it's going to keep Ontario awash in red ink for at least a decade. They're not going to balance this thing till 2029 under the best case scenario. But yeah, one thing that really stood out to me was the new help for the tourism and hospitality sector. This is a sector that we know has been absolutely decimated throughout the pandemic. There hasn't been a lot new for it. What the government's now doing is they're offering a support grant to small businesses, small hotels, travel agents who have been hard hit, water parks, overnight kids camps. They can apply for a grant of between $10,000 and $20,000. It is much needed support for the travel and tourism sector. Yes, there was a bit of news about cannabis in this budget, and the news was maybe a bit surprising in that Ontarians aren't smoking very much of it, not as much as we expected. Revenue from cannabis lower than what the government was projecting. The total tax taken in $140 million from cannabis. The Ontario Cannabis Store bringing in $70 million in revenue. It was projected to bring in $80 million. Unlike previous budgets from the Ford government, there actually wasn't a lot about alcohol in here, although the government did say that it's scrapping a planned increase to the price of wine that was expected to take effect at the LCBO. So, Mel, I guess that's a little bit of good news. We're going to be awash in red ink for a decade, but the price of wine ain't going up anytime soon.
Okay, now moving away from the budget, a couple of Canadian airlines are getting set to restore some of their suspended routes.
Yeah, and we think they're probably doing this to meet the requirements the federal government has laid out in order for these airlines to receive a badly needed aid package. WestJet today said it's going to restore service to airports in Atlantic Canada and Quebec City. It had scrapped those money-losing routes a while ago. Flights to Charlottetown, Fredericton, Moncton, Sydney, Quebec, they're all back on. Air Canada recently as well paying back passengers who had their flights canceled. So we think all this could possibly, Mel, lead to an aid package from the federal government. That's something to look out for soon.